Welcome to Pennsylvania in Focus. I'm Kristen Smith, Pennsylvania editor for the Center Square. Joining me today is the Center Square's Pennsylvania reporter, Anthony Hennon. And today we're going to talk about Frackalachia, which is the clever name given by the Ohio River Valley Institute to talk about counties in Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania that are known for natural gas development, or at least they were at one time, according to the Institute, and they have the numbers to prove it, so they say. Tell us more, Anthony.
Yeah, so this is an update of a report that the Ohio River Valley Institute did a few years ago. Basically, they're arguing that we're entering a phase where natural gas production in these Appalachian counties are plateauing, and you can't really count on economic growth to carry through. When we're looking at the data, and this covers about 22 counties, I believe. About 9 of those are in Pennsylvania, if I'm remembering correctly. But basically, when you look at the recent growth in history here, there's been increases in GDP growth above average compared to the rest of the nation. But jobs, income, and population have declined. Basically, even with this development, we are not necessarily seeing residents staying in these counties or seeing other job growth in these counties as a result. So the ORVI is essentially arguing that any hope that natural gas development can turn this trend around is undermined by the fact that Appalachian gas development either has or will soon plateau, according to their senior researcher, Sean O'Leary. So when we're talking economic growth or reviving population numbers, in these counties, they're arguing we need to look elsewhere.
So what exactly does the report suggest we do, or what this region does to kind of reverse this trend?
Yes, I guess there's two main things they highlighted. One is arguing that, since this is not necessarily sparking broader economic growth or boosting population, that it makes sense to change policy to, quote, simply capture for their constituents more of the wealth that they and their property are generating. So essentially increasing severance or property taxes as a way to keep some of this money back in these counties. But they've also argued for looking toward models that we've seen out in Washington state of trying to transition this area and using a grant-based approach to try to build up other industries, improve the quality of life. So they point to doing things like offering funds to improve energy efficiency of homes and businesses, supporting locals with economic and community development funds, and also investing in renewable energy.
So what is the criticism of this data?
Yeah, the criticism has essentially been that these ideas essentially fall short. The natural gas industry was arguing that this is just a report coming out of an activist organization that's ignoring the actual benefits that we're seeing in the region. And it does seem that, at least in the near term, revenues from Pennsylvania's impact fee is expected to decline. But industry argues that a lot of this is a result not necessarily of a lack of natural gas or natural gas production plateauing. Instead, it's a policy choice. Basically, it's harder in Pennsylvania to build out such things as pipelines or expand some of the production as compared to other areas like in Louisiana and Texas where the Permian Basin lies, which drives a lot of that. Essentially arguing that, there is growth here, there's a lot of opportunity, but they're still being hamstrung by permitting issues, by pipeline development issues, etc.
Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Anthony Hennon, this is Kristen Smith. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.